jokingly say that I threw Mind Switch with the Elf Rangers. The DM lets it pass. So now I'm playing a set of huge on an elf's chest with psychic powers. There's no special intro for today. Welcome to another DnDGreentext. I was reading the comments in the last green text to look for one, but I couldn't find one, but I found this. I swear this guy starts to speak in Minecraft enchanting table at 13:11 forward in this video. Don't forget to leave a like if you did and subscribe if you haven't already. Also thank you to everyone supporting the channel on Patreon as well as here on YouTube. I appreciate it so much, so thank you so much for that. Please if you want to check those out as well as the social media, Discord server, and everything else. And yeah. Oh my god, I love it. And this was absolutely fantastic and made me laugh. Anyway, welcome to another DnDGreentext. Hope you're having a wonderful day. Before jumping into the video, just quickly, kindly, if you're not yet subscribed to the channel, consider doing so now. It only takes a moment. I appreciate it a lot, so thanks so much for that. And yeah, with that being said, I hope you enjoyed the video. Anons discuss god names. God is called Orcus, and he's not an orc. Orcus being a staple demon in the implied D&D setting, when his name is the root word for orc, will never not get on my nerves. Gygax was straight up just ripping out parts of books he liked and not even changing the names. I don't begrudge Gygax, Arneson and the boys, but it really sucks that we're stuck with such an inspired default setting for the world's most popular RPG. At least the old crap had an amateurish charm. Nowadays, there's no excuse. Orcus backward is Sucro. Straight up just ripping out parts of books he liked and not even changing the names. Yeah, but that was the whole point. Reply to the original statement. God is called Jupiter, and he's not a Jew. Anon plays up Cyan. Would getting turned into an elf count? Okay, I really want to know some more context. What was the question before jumping into the story? Hold on. Okay, so has your character or characters ever been possessed or cursed to have another being trapped inside his or her body? How did it happen? How did it affect your character? And what did your character do about it? Would getting turned into an elf count? Short 4-session campaign where the DM was drinking a bit for the first session, so we knew to expect shenanigans. During a bit of downtime in the first session, we ended up joking around and trying to get a feel for each other's characters. Eventually, our bard makes a joke about how every elf is flat-chested and points to our ranger as evidence. She takes offense to this and claims that she's just wearing a brow of holding. The bard calls her out on it and she goes into her tent and then comes back now sporting a huge set of knockers. A bit later, she somehow fumbles 3 skill checks in a row and the DM rules that it's because she kept smacking herself in the face with her teeth. Jesus Christ, dude. She jokes about this being why she always wears the magic bra, and the bard makes a joke about how her breasts seem to have a mind of their own, and I manifest sense minds as a joke. The DM rules that they do, and laughter abounds. As the session went on, me and the ranger ended up separated from the rest of the group after a bad encounter, and my character ends up bleeding out with no healers and healing items around, so yeah, I'm gonna die. Jokingly say that I threw Mind Switch with the Elf Rangers. The DM lets it pass. So now I'm playing a set of huge on an elf's chest with psychic powers. It's a bit uneventful as she tracks down the rest of the party until she explains what happened and they started making jokes about how she would let me out to brief and see. We tried to fix this by resurrecting my old body and letting me swap back into it. Instead, what happened was that whatever intelligence used to be in her refused to be resurrected. It had already spent a century on an elf's chest, it didn't want to spend several more. We had a few encounters after that, and I still played my role as the blaster by shooting various types of mind lasers at things, a number of them with the tendency to destroy whatever top she was wearing, and after a few jokes about extreme nip slips, she eventually decides to just go topless, joking about how she doesn't have to worry about her girls flopping around now that she has a telekinetic bra. We tried to avoid killing humanoid opponents, as me and the elf were trying to find an enemy whose body I would like and who she wouldn't mind having a part of her for the rest of her life, but we ended up rejecting each for various reasons. The third session was heavy in diplomacy and infiltration. Sure, being a topless elf and her huge occasionally glowing kept us out of more high-class places, but it opened a lot of doors, especially with powers like attraction helping things along. There was one indecent incident The only thing innocent here is the story, I think. There was one incident where we got caught where we shouldn't have been by a few guards, and she tried to play herself off as lost and a bit of an airhead while I used Charm Person. All but the leader failed their will saves, so she tried a bit of seduction to get him to let her go. Midway through, she ended up shoving his face in her cleavage. I manifested the simulate, and after a bit of silence, she let out a small giggle and said, "Oops, he fell in," before walking past the rest of the stunned guards. I never mind switched out of there, at least not permanently. Though someone did raise a question later if I could swap into any other body parts of hers. And the answer turned out to be yes, but it wasn't as roomy, and also she refused to go bottomless. In the end, my Psyon spent the rest of the campaign, and going by the epilogue that we wrote, the rest of his life, as a topless elf's laser firing turrets. Oh my god, this might just be the dumbest story that I've read in the entirety of reading this story. I mean, there's obviously different categories of stupid, and I don't know how to describe them, okay? This one definitely falls in a specific one of them, and I think it leads that category. Oh god. Local wizard invents Helter Skelter. Be me, DM, be not me. Party of 5. Important to this story is the human wizard, the reborn artificer druid, and the minotaur fighter. Party has just entered the elemental plane of water, trying to make their way to the city of glass. After acquiring a lift on a ship from a local sailing mercenary, they've made a short stop on an island with a lighthouse. In the center of the lighthouse there's a spiral staircase leading all the way up to the tower. Wizard immediately asks, "Is there a rug anywhere?" Confused, I tell him no. He asks the rest of the party if anyone has a rug or anything similar. A light bulb appears above the artificer and he pulls out a bullet hide. The two of them head to the top of the lighthouse and the fighter stays downstairs guarding the front door, leaving it open. Wizard and artificer reach the top of the tower where the wizard casts grease on the bullet hide and places it on the floor at the top of the stairs and sits on it. The artificer gets on behind him and the two begin giggling. Okay, I can see where this goes, alright. They push off and start sliding down the staircase on a greased up bullet hide, picking up a lot of speed. Miraculously, they're able to stay on the hide the whole way down. As they reach the bottom of the staircase, we all come to the realization that the stairs are pointing directly at the front door where the fighter stands. The fighter was prepared for threats coming from outside, not within. Luckily for him, he makes the dex save and easily sidesteps the high-speed wizard and the artificer. The two speed out of the open door, slowing down and coming to a halt on the grass outside the lighthouse. I'm in utter shock that they managed to make that work and that nobody got hurt. The wizard and artificer are a bit too proud of themselves. No, they shouldn't. There is no way you can be too proud of that. That was great. That was great. They're probably not proud enough, to be honest. I love it when I scroll to the comments to just read them out of curiosity. The first one just exactly describes what I want to say. It sounds like they're winning at D&D and they're a bunch of great players. Very nice. That's a really good way to put it, I think. My guy Fieri Barbarian got turned into a vampire and I don't know what happens now. My guy ate his grandma to survive in famine. Swears to never let people starve ever again. Becomes a chef and save a Tabaxi Baron, aka Tiger King, from the big bad evil guy of the first part of the campaign. I retired the character at that point because the game ended. Epilogue. Tiger King funds his Queso franchise empire that also doubles as rations for the war effort after a Shark Tank pitch and also does charity. He expands the empire across the world and now primarily works in Renaissance Italy-esque world and gets into performance art. Fast forward about 2 years in a new campaign. He makes a guest appearance in the new game to fight Apostle of even bigger bad guy. Guy gets one-shot by a critical hit level 6 guiding bolt by Vampire Apostle and is turned into a vampire and gets abducted. Turns out, the Apostle ate at his restaurant before and liked it. Cue possible My Immortal, Guy Chemical Romance, Guy Fieri, What We Do in the Shadows crossover. I literally don't know what's going to happen now, and I don't have any control of what my character does anymore. So it's all up to the DM at this point, but it's been a fun ride and I'd like to hear your guys' ideas about what would be interesting to happen. That's actually a pretty good prompt. If you have any ideas for how you would continue this story, do let me know in the comments. I'll be interested in reading those. How I nearly ended the campaign early. Be me. Level 4 Wild Magic Sorcerer. Be not me. Mute Changeling, Child DMPC, and the rest of the party. Context. We are on a cart heading through a valley after finding a couple of barrels of gunpowder. The sorcerer decides he wants to try and teach the changeling child a spell. The DM tells me to roll wild magic. With my luck, he has to tell me to roll straight from the table, otherwise it would never happen. I roll a 7. Everyone is laughing their butts off. DM retcons and says that my character temporarily loses his spellcasting ability only until the next rest. Okay, what is that? Okay. For a 7, you cast a fireball at 3rd level centered on yourself. I was wondering what could be so bad that the DM had to retcon it. It totally makes sense. It totally makes sense. That's the only valid option at that point, I think. A new twist on knights and knaves. Be me, barbarian. Be not me, wizard, rogue, and the cleric. Be trapped in a labyrinthine mansion ruled by an archfey. The party enters the room with 2 guards in front of 2 doors. Guard A speaks up. One of these doors leads out of the mansion. Guard B speaks up, while the other door leads deeper into the manor. You may ask us one question to determine which is which, but one of us only speaks the truth, while the other one always lies. I quickly ask, wait, is that per person or for the group? Guard B rolls his eyes. For the group, idiot. The rest of the group laughs. Wizard approaches Guard A. If I ask him if his door leads out of the manor, what would he say? He would say yes. The wizard laughs at the classic puzzle. Door A leads out of the manor. If he is telling the truth, then Guard B will lie when he answers yes. And if he is lying, then Guard B will truthfully answer no. Guard A steps aside and the wizard walks through confidently. I stop the rest of the party. They're both liars. I already asked the question and they answered it, but they answered his as well. Since the guard answered my question with a lie and he said that one of them always spoke the truth, then that was a lie as well. Both doors they are guarding lead deeper into the manor. The correct door has to be the one behind us. We walk out behind us and get out of the mansion, and the wizard was never seen again. I'm sorry, what? The wizard just straight up disappeared? What the hell? How the paladin went through 3 oaths. Be me, hobgoblin, level 3 Oath of the Crown paladin. Be not me, NPC king that my character has been serving for 12 years. King sends me on a mission with some adventurers to make sure that my character wasn't around. He then launches a genocide campaign on the monster races throughout the kingdom, including my character's children and wife. Learn of what happened when royal assassins ambush us and return to the castle for answers. The king laughs and claims how my character and his family are unclean and thus need to be wiped from the face of the earth. Party battles with the royal guard and king, ending with my character killing him Omni-Man style. At level 8, become an oathbreaker. Learn that the king has a son who escaped the castle. The character vows to finish what he started and starts hunting down the prince as a subplot. Years pass, story-wise, and my character begins to return to his old self until one day someone says that they saw the prince in a nearby town. My character is filled with newly found rage and rushes off to do what he's been after for 5 years at this point. Find the prince, and he's now a grown-up that has a family with a wood elf and 2 children. The character challenges him to a duel and easily overwhelms him. As my character is about to kill him, he flashes back to how his family was ripped away from him and how much anger that brought him. My character drops his sword and drops to his knees bawling in the only way a man who had lost everything can. My character tells the prince to end his misery but refuses, telling my character how the world still needs relentless justice seekers to right the wrongs. My character leaves the family and returns to the party and devotes himself to righting the wrongs in his life. At level 15, become Oath of Redemption. Go on to die at the finale of the campaign after killing the demon lord who sowed the fear into the king's head all those years ago. Die knowing that he truly did atone for his sins and die happily and at peace. Jesus Christ, I was not expecting the story to be so good. Excuse me. Right, well, on that incredible note, that's gonna be it for today's video, so thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, do consider leaving a like and subscribing for more. Also, thank you to our supporting channel on Patreon as well as here on YouTube as channel members. I appreciate it a lot, so thank you so much for that. Links below if you wanna check those out, as well as links to the social media, Discord server, Sublet TV and all this. And yeah, that's it. Thanks again for watching, I'll see you next time. Have a great day, bye.